All right, it is time to expand the farm. We've been working on getting 𝑎𝑙 ready for a date. Not the kind of date you're thinking of, but right now she is in heat. She's in standing heat. So I need to go out and pick up a special delivery. We can get this date on. So we've been working on this for 2 weeks now, we've been working on this for over almost a year now, trying to line this out and figure out AIing. We could not find an AI tech in the area. We finally did. And I've been looking into and wanting to get Reverence Farm semen. We wanted to get sexed semen that is from an A2A2 grass-fed genetic Jersey. So that is what I need to go pick up now. So that way 𝑎𝑙 will be ready for her date. Right, 𝑎𝑙? She is ready. We've been doing the synchronization of hormones with 𝑎𝑙 to make sure she comes into heat on time. People we bought her from had to do the same thing when they bred her. 𝑎𝑙 is very hard to know exactly when she's in standing heat. So when we got her, they said they had her AI'd and they used hormone synchronization so that way they would know when she was in heat, because other than that, they couldn't tell. We've been able to tell roughly when she's in heat, but never exactly like that. So we've been doing the synchronization over like 2 weeks. All right, we got the special delivery for 𝑎𝑙 from Reverence Farm. I've been looking forward to getting 𝑎𝑙 AI'd with some bull semen from Reverence Farm. If you guys don't know Reverence Farm, they're down in, I believe, Virginia. They're big on grass-fed genetics, and they're into Jersey's A2A2. So we got some sexed semen from them. It's from an A2A2 bull, and we picked the genetics that we wanted. There were certain traits we were looking for other than the grass-fed genetics. And so this is from Harold. That's the bull that we really liked. So this is 𝑎𝑙's date tonight. I'm not looking forward to it, but I'm looking forward to getting the calf when the calf shows up. So let's get this in the barn and get ready. 𝑎𝑙's date went well. All right, well, hopefully that all went well and everything is going to take. We're getting this all packed up and ready to send back. We are excited to have 𝑎𝑙 bred with Reverence Farm semen. This is from Harold, one of their bulls, and we really like the genetics that he has, so we are excited. So in 9 months, 𝑎𝑙 should have a nice calf here on the homestead that is A2A2 and has really good grass-fed genetics, meaning that they're really good off grass, and there's a bunch of other little things that we wanted to get from this bull into 𝑎𝑙's calf. So we are excited for that. Can't wait. So in about 28 days, we can do a pregnancy test to see if she's pregnant. So first we'll have to wait 21-ish days, see if she comes back into heat. If she does, we know it didn't take, and if it doesn't, we can wait like another week or so, and then we can do the pregnancy test to find out. So we have to anxiously wait 3 weeks to a month to find out if today worked or not. So yeah, it's gonna be a long 3 weeks here in the homestead.
We are hoping it takes because we do want those genetics and we want to have another A2A2 dairy cow, and it would be great to have the 2 of them. And also I'm hoping that the great line of genetics, we're going to have more cream. That would mean more butter, more ice cream, all the things. So we just hope this takes, and if not, we'll deal with that when the time comes.
You're probably asking, Al, you have a bull. Why aren't you using your bull to breed 𝑎𝑙? So you're right, we do have a new bull on the homestead. George, our Scottish Highlander, is a bull. We're not breeding him to 𝑎𝑙 right now because a couple of reasons. One is he's probably too small. He might not be to get the job done. But the big reason is we want to get at least one more good set of grass-fed genetics here on the homestead. That and a heifer. We had sexed A2A2 semen from Reverence Farm from their bull Harold. and that is some really good genetics. If it takes, it'll be a heifer calf, and that's what we want, and then we can use her for milking also. And then at that point, what we're thinking right now is we'll breed Azalea in the future and the new calf in the future to George, and then if we get crosses, they will be Scottish Highlander crosses. Sorry, Azalea decided she had to pee while we're making this, and if she has any boys at that point, they'll be a dual purpose beef breed, and we'll get some good meat off of them. And if it is a heifer calf, it'll be a kind of a cool heifer calf. It'd be a Jersey / Scottish Highlander mix, so it'd be a longer hair coat, be better in the winter and better at foraging, and it'll be cool to see how the milk is from that. That is what we're thinking there. And we also have George now because we have other plans for him. We just aren't at that phase yet, but soon we'll be able to share with you the other things we have planned for George. So we are excited. Fingers crossed that this breeding succession takes. If it doesn't, we're gonna have to figure out, do we wanna try breeding Azalea to George, or do we want to get some more semen in from Reverence Farm? The big reason we're AIing is because we want Reverence Farm's grass-fed genetics here on the homestead. They're down in Virginia, so we just can't use their bull. We got to do the AI semen, so we are excited about that. I think Azalea is too. We ended up syncing her hormones, and that makes her go into heat, and then that way you can know when she's in heat. So you do one shot, you put a cedar in. We gave Min-90. Min-90 is a mineral, has minerals and vitamins in it that's supposed to help the success rate of everything working. So we did that, waited a week, took out the cedar, gave her an injection of the other hormone. I'm not gonna say it because I don't know how to pronounce the names. And then we bred her a few days later and she was in standing heat like you saw. So if everything goes well, we should have a heifer, I think. Let me see, I did the math. I think next March, we should have a heifer on the homestead. Beginning of March, end of February. So now we just gotta wait to see if she's pregnant. I am excited about that, but now we gotta go work on the Kubota. All right, so I don't know if you guys remember, but a few weeks ago, to a month ago now, we had issues with the Kubota mower deck, and I had to take it off. Fixed some issues, they weren't major. I had to get some metric bolts. Nobody local had them, so I ended up ordering them from boltsandnuts.com. I'll leave a link in the video description down below to them, and I have a promo code, save you guys some money. Really cool, you can just look it up, see what you need, what pitch, and they'll send them to you in the mail. I've had them for at least 2 weeks now. They came in a few days after we had it all torn apart. Just haven't had time to put it back together, and I wanna relocate the fuel filter on the tractor. Where the fuel filter is on the Kubota is up under the bottom of the tractor. It's like up above, right under the fuel tank. If you have your mower deck on and the fuel filter plugs up, it's a pain to change. So we're gonna relocate it to the frame on the front. So let's bring that in and we'll get this done.
All right, guys, Tanner and I are all loaded up and we are gonna head up to the secret garden. I think I have everything. I have my plants, I have some of my tools that I wanted, I have my little garden stool that I got for myself. Are you ready?
All right, well, while I'm thinking of it, let's put the new bolt in. So we're missing a bolt right here on this side. So I got bolts and I got lock washers. We're gonna need a lock washer. Let me get the bolt out. These are M12 1.25 pitch. I ended up ordering some bolts, some nuts. I don't need nuts for this project, but I figured if I'm gonna have the bolts around, I might as well have nuts for it. And then I got lock washers. I didn't get regular washers because I got flange bolts, so we're not gonna need washers. I was gonna say, you better not take off with my bolts. Perfect.
I also feel like this is worth mentioning. If any of you are putting any hydrants in, I do not recommend this kind right here. It is so hard to turn on and off. It's easier to turn off, but to turn it on, I just took like way too much time and too much energy to turn it on. The other ones we have down below, you just lift the handle. It's so simple, so easy. even Al has a hard time with this one, so I know that it's hard. It's not just me. But now that I have this on here, I can go ahead and turn it on and off from this. So that would be good. But I do not recommend this one.
All right, for parts for switching over the fuel filter, or relocating it, I guess I would say, is I have some, what is this? This is 5/16 fuel line. Bam. I got some 5/16 barbed fittings. I got some hose clamps. And then this is the big one. I have a, say a brand on it? No. I have a fuel filter with a water separator on it. Got this off of eBay. I can put a link down below if I can find it. So we need to mount this on the front, run our lines in and out. I think we'll go in and then back out. I'll have to plug that end off. We'll wait till we get it mounted in on the tractor.
Well, so far, everything that I have up in the secret garden is looking pretty good. The zinnias are probably the ones that have probably got the most shock from being transplanted. They have got pretty big. The ones, I do have another big one to plant, and then I have some really small ones, so those will probably do better getting into the ground sooner. I think the strawberries are looking good. The rhubarb's looking good. I'm getting some lettuce back there. Yeah. All right, here are all my plants. Looking pretty good. They needed to get to the point where they started to need to be repotted, so it's perfect timing.
It is hot outside, but it is nice and cool in the shop. And that's why we're keeping that door closed. The spray foam insulation is working good. So I'm gonna say it's probably like 20 degrees colder in the workshop than outside. So as much of the cold air as we can keep in, we're going to. All right, so the fuel filter, we want to relocate over to here, like so.
These tomato plants are doing so good. These are our mortgage lifter tomatoes. These ones are doing awesome. That's probably why they call them mortgage lifters, because people that bring them to the farmer's market and stuff. So I might stick them there. I'm just gonna set everything and then I'll put them in their spots.
All right, I think we got to take off this cowling so we can get in there better. Just need that up for a minute while I take this off. Bam. All right, when I was working on the mini truck the other day under the dump bed, I had the lock under it so the piston couldn't go down. I just don't think I showed it on video because we had a lot of comments in there saying, hey, you need to be safe. So this does not have anything built in for safety. I got a 2x4. We're gonna make our own lock. Okay, so now the hydraulics cannot go down and fall on us. Unfortunately, we do know somebody that had lost their life because of something like this. So take that serious. We don't want that falling on us, but it's gonna be a lot easier for me to work over on that side with this up out of the way. And then as soon as I can put it back down, we're gonna put it down, but we're gonna drill some holes. All right, I wanna have the cowl off and this up out of our way so we can work in here freely. That right there is a ground wire. I probably could use that. Let me take that off. Maybe I can just use that for one. All right, I'm going to see if I can use this hole that is already pre-existing. I don't know if it's a bolt or if it's just some funky stud or what it is. Because if it's just a bolt, I can put a longer one in. It's just a bolt with a bracket to hold this wire harness in place. So we can get a longer bolt and then we'll only have to drill one hole. I like that. All right, it's a metric. It is an M8 125. There we go. It's a little long, but you know what? I still need to do this, so it's not. It's perfect. you doing? Hey, no. Knucklehead. No.
I had picked myself up a little gardening stool on Amazon a while back. So I'm like, I like to sit down, not feel bent over or maybe the ground's wet. So I got this. It's got like a little tote bag on it, and I have my water, and I have a bug net in case the bugs get too bad for over around my head. I can put my seed packets, all kinds of things, my tools and all that in here. So I have that.
Haha, got it. That took a few minutes. That frame is thick. It's 3/8 of an inch thick, so it took a little while to drill through that, but we got it. So now we can bolt it up, and I'm glad I decided to only drill one hole because that took a while. And then we can figure out the routing for this fuel filter. All right, I could not use the original nut and bolt because it was too long. It looked out of place.
Well guys, I think I need to call this quits because I can hear some thunder in the background and it is starting to look pretty dark out here. I did get one bed planted. I am probably going to quickly water it. I think we're going to get some rain, so it will water it the rest of the way. I think I'm going to grab those other plants, and I still haven't decided if that's where I'm sticking them yet, so I'll bring them back inside. I'm going to get this taken care of and then get that stuff back in the house before we get too much of a thunderstorm.
All right, I got the fuel lines hooked up underneath. I removed the old fuel line. Now we just got to get it to prime. That might be the fun part. So yeah, see if I can get this primed and then we can get it started. All right, we got fuel coming in. Awesome. Now we gotta get it in and then back out. All right, let's give it a try. Decided to stall out a little bit because there was air in the lines, but then it cleared itself up quite a bit. Let me show you the old fuel line. That's just a regular Wix filter, nothing fancy. And they get plugged up really bad all the time. And it used to be way up there. So if the filter plugged up on you while you had your mower deck on, which is most of the time for me, that's when the filter plugged up, you had to drop your mower deck with it not running. And it wasn't fun, and replace your fuel filter. So now we have it relocated up front, and then if it freezes up or gels up, we got that. Now we actually have a water separator. That filter never had anything, so I'm just gonna go ahead and zip tie up my lines, and then I can put the hood cowling back together. Then we can get the mower deck back on. If I knew how easy that was, I would have done that sooner, because that fuel filter has been a thorn in our side a few times. Now the only thing that's left is to take it outside and see if it'll mow. It should, without falling apart. It is the next morning. I forgot to end the video. We did some mowing. I didn't do a lot of mowing. I did some mowing. I'm trying to let a lot of this grow as pasture this year. So we want to have her come in so it is feed for the cows, not for mowing. But I mowed here and I mowed along the edges of the road and nothing happened with the mower deck. So I'm going to say it is fixed. So that is good. The Kubota is running a lot better with that new fuel filter. If you guys have a small Kubota, or if you have any tractor that has a small fuel filter like that, I recommend relocating it, because that getting plugged up has been a pain in my backside for so long. If I knew that was that easy of a fix, I would have done it earlier. And if I knew about that fix earlier, I would have done it earlier, if that makes sense. So yeah, glad we have that done. Also glad we got Azalea AI'd. I've been looking in and trying to figure out this whole AIing thing for a while now, and it just took a while to get it all figured out. The farm we got her from was like an hour and a half from here. They had her AI'd, so I was like, oh, no big deal, we'll get her AI'd. We called up the companies that she used, and they're like, yeah, we don't service your area. And I was like, ugh. So we've just been trying to search and look, and we've been wanting the right semen. Like we've been saying, we want the ones from Reverend's Farm. They're not the only ones who have grass-fed genetics, but they have really good grass-fed genetics. They've had a grass-fed Jersey creamery for a long time. The husband is a vet, so they're very big into the genetic stuff. So we want to make sure that we have what we want, because with a cow, you gotta, just like a human, you gotta wait 9 months, and then it's not just the 9 months, then you gotta let the heifer grow up, and then she's gotta be bred for 9 months before she has a calf, and then you can start milking her. So it's a process. So we want to make sure we have everything the way we want it, because it's the long haul, and that's what we're in for. So thanks for coming along on our homesteading journey. You guys are a huge blessing to us in our homestead. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you like hearing the birds, give it a thumbs up and subscribe. And we'll see you right back here in the next video. Bye.